Stampers, this is Dawn from DawnStampingThoughts.net, and today we're going to make the triple flat fold card. I had made one, I think it was last year, but it was a sympathy or get well, thinking of you card. And this time we're going to make it a Halloween card, and we're using a different framelit. So let me show you the inside. It's going to be like a storybook, I guess. Look how pretty. Then it opens up like that. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so we're using the basic gray. And this is the 12 by 12 cardstock. And I don't know if you know this or not, but in the holiday catalog, you can get a combo pack of the pumpkin pie and the basic gray. And you get 10 sheets of each. And then there's also one with cherry cobbler in garden green in 12 by 12. And then one pack of all red, real red cardstock. So let's go ahead and get our paper trimmer. Okay, so we're going to score this at 2 inches. Let me get my bone folder. Okay, so 2 inches, and then slide it down to 4 inches. Then we're going to slide it down to 8, and then 10. Okay, then we're going to turn it, and we're going to score this side at 4 and 8. Okay, so now we're just going to go ahead and burnish all the scored edges. So let me go ahead and do that. Okay, so now we're going to remove these 4 corners and then this outside panel right here. Okay, so let me go ahead and do that. Now you're going to see this panel here. That's the one we're going to cut. But once again, you can keep that panel and make it an extra fold out if you wanted to. But for today's video, we're going to remove those panels. Okay, so now it should fold in like this. And then you have your flap that folds up. And then this part we're going to cut with the Big Shot. So let's grab that. Okay, so we're using the lots of labels, and we're going to use from the largest size counting in, we're going to use 2, 3, and 4. And the 3 and 4 sizes are going to be for the basic black and the whisper white. But first we're going to go ahead and cut this flap. And I'm going to take the number 2 and I'm going to place it inside the center of this panel. And it's going to overlap on the inside over the score line. Because see, here's the score line. Hopefully that's showing up on camera. So I'm going to place that in the center, and then where this overlaps, I'm just going to fold the flaps. I'm going to put my other acrylic pad in. I'm going to butt it right up against that flap. Okay, and then we're going to send that through the Big Shot. Okay, so where we butted that up, it won't cut after that score line. So when you remove your framelit, you have your flap still attached to the card. So we just have to remove this piece. So let me go ahead and cut the basic black piece and the whisper white with the 2 smaller framelits right here. So the basic black is going to be with number 3, and then the whisper white piece is going to be with the number 4. Okay, so let's move the Big Shot. Okay, so now we're just going to go ahead and trim on the score line right up to this flat part here. So let me go ahead and do that. Okay, So you have your flap still attached. Isn't that cute? Okay, so next we're going to go ahead and give you the measurements of the Whisper White piece and the black. Let me just go ahead and burnish these edges again really good. See, this is how the card's going to fold shut. Just like that. Alright, so let me give you the measurements for those pieces. Okay, so I just made it really super easy. We just used the basic black. I had actually made one with designer paper and it was a little confusing. So we're going to use the basic black. You're going to need 3 pieces of the basic black, which are cut at 3 3/4 by 3 3/4. And then you're going to need 4 basic black panels. And these are all cut at 1 3/4 by 3 3/4. Okay, so you need 4 of those. Okay, so then you're going to need 2 pieces of Whisper White, and these are both cut at 3 5/8 by 3 5/8. And then the 4 panels of the Whisper White, and these are cut at 1 5/8 by 3 5/8. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and do some sponging. We're going to be using the Memento ink for the stamping of the images, and then the Daffodil Delight Classic ink, and Tangerine Tango Classic ink. Okay, so I have my 2 stamping sponges, one with Daffodil and one with Tangerine Tango. And first we're going to go ahead and lay our moon down. This is going to be for the center part of the card. Let me show you that again. This is going to be for this part right here. Okay, so we're going to make our little moon. So I just took a piece of Whisper White and I punched it out with the 1 1/4 inch circle punch. And then on the back you can use some repositionable tape, or I use the 2-way glue pen since I love that thing. So you're just going to position it where you want your moon to go. And then you're just going to take your lightest color first, which is my Daffodil Delight. And I'm going to sponge over the whole part of the Whisper White. And I'm also going to do this section too. Okay, so now we're going to use the Tangerine Tango. We're going to sponge the edges, but before we put the sponge to the cardstock, we're going to rub off onto the grid paper just a little bit, just to kind of take the majority of the ink off of the sponge so it's not a big blob. So you're going to start off and then work your way in. Okay? I'm going to do both pieces this way. Okay, so we're done with the sponging because I've already done all the other pieces. I went ahead and did them ahead of time to save some time for the video. So let's move our ink pads. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and stamp. Let me remove my little moon part here. I want to be careful so you don't rip the white underneath there. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and stamp. Now let me show you the 2 stamp sets we're using. I'm using actually a lot of the images from both stamps. So I'm using Halloween Scares for the house and the little bats and the tree, the fence, the cat. Oh my gosh, a lot of the images. Such an awesome set. And then this is the Spooky Fun stamp set, which I'm also using a lot of images from this stamp set. But this stamp set comes in a bundle, which you can get the Halloween Scenes edgelets. And you can save 10% when you buy both of them together. Okay, so we're going to first use the Halloween Scares stamp set. Got all those images on a block. And I'm going to stamp this one right here. This is going to be for the center. So I'm going to stamp my house first. My little spooky house. And you're stamping after you're sponging so you don't smear the black ink. That's what I found. You want to do all the stamping last. And I'm wanting that ink, since this is a solid image of a stamp, I want the ink all the way around the house. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and stamp this right about there. Okay, then we're going to go ahead and stamp our little fence along the right hand side of the house. And I just kind of eyeballed this. It's actually kind of spooky with it not lining up exactly, I think. Okay, then we're going to take our little cat, and I actually stamped him on a piece of vellum with my Stamp-A-Majig so I can place him perfectly on the fence, just like that. So take my Stamp-A-Majig. Ink up my little cat, my black cat. Okay, put that right in the corner of the Stamp-A-Majig and stamp straight down. Cute. Okay, then I have the little tiny 3 little bats that's in the stamp set also. Okay, so now the panels that are on the inside of the card, so they're going to sit like this. I wanted to stamp the tree that's in the stamp set also over to the, I guess to the right. Okay, and then stamp another tree on this side. More to the right hand side on this side too, I guess. Okay, and then we're going to stamp a couple more times with the bats. Cute. Okay, so this panel section is done except for the words, and that's in the other stamp set. So I'm going to go ahead and set these aside, let them dry. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and stamp this section of the card, this panel. We're going to use the ghost and the tombstones that are from the Spooky Fun stamp set. And I'm just going to go ahead and stamp 2 of the tombstones on either side. And then I'm going to stamp the ghost right up through the middle. Okay, then we're going to stamp the other 2 panels. Get these panels right here, and those are going to go right here on the card. So we're going to stamp those with the spider web and the spider. I have those right here. So I'm going to stamp this spider web on this panel. Get that up really good. One on the right hand side. And I'm going to turn it and stamp on this side. Okay, then I'm going to take this panel, I'm going to stamp on the right hand side top. And then this one is going to stamp at the bottom left. Just like that. I'm going to take this cute little spider, stamp him hanging off of the cobwebs. See, and I want the panels to kind of line up like that when it's in the card. Let me see here, maybe one right there. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and stamp the label part of the card that's going to go on the front. We're going to set those aside to dry. And this one we're going to use the Happy Halloween. I'm going to put that on a block. I'm going to also use the little pumpkins. And then the bat. Bat's already on a block. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and stamp the pumpkins first along the bottom edge. Okay, we're going to stamp the Happy Halloween. That looks a little crooked. Okay, so I'll stamp Happy Halloween along the top. Oh, this should have been over a little bit. Then the bat, I don't want to put my head in the camera, so kind of avoiding that. So we'll just put the bat over to the one side to kind of balance it out. I guess. Okay, so now let's go ahead and put that aside to dry. Now I think we're done with the stamping. Now we're just going to go ahead and start layering. Okay, so let's bring all our pieces in. Now I'm just going to go ahead and put adhesive on the back side. And I'm just going to use the snail. And I'm just going to layer them onto the basic black pieces. Okay, so one more thing I forgot. I forgot to stamp the witch on this part here. So let's go ahead and get that out. Okay, so both of these images are from the Spooky Fun stamp set. And this one says, have some spooky fun. We're going to stamp that right above the bats. And then the witch. Get my Memento ink back out. We're going to stamp our witch right over the moon. That, and then we're going to stamp have some spooky fun right up here. Okay, now I think we're done stamping. Okay, so now let's grab our panel card here. We're going to put this on the inside. I just went ahead and put adhesive on all these pieces here. Okay, so we're going to put this on the inside of our card. Okay, then you're going to put this on the front panel. Then this section is going to go down here. And then the cobwebs go on this section. Oh, this one goes on this side, I believe. Because I want the spider web to kind of mesh together in this panel here. Then the inside we have our trees. Let me see. Yeah, this one goes over here. And then this one goes over here. Okay, so then this panel right here is just going to be for the front. That's just going to get basic black cardstock. That's just going to go on the front, just like that. So then when the card closes, it looks like this. You open it up. And then I went ahead and added some Wink of Stella to the ghost and to the pumpkins on the front, and then also to the windows. Oh, and I want to add a little bow here. So let me add a little bow. This is the Halloween Nights Baker's Twine, and you get both colors. We're going to use the pumpkin pie color, I believe. And I'm just going to go ahead and add some multi-purpose liquid glue on the front. I'm just going to put the bow right in the center of that glue. Okay. How cute! Love this card. Okay, thanks for stopping by. We'll see you later. Bye!